What if I were to suggest that you play a key role in the awakening world? And that you are watching this because you have heard the call. We can start right now by opening our hearts and minds. Welcome to the awakening world.
Good evening, everybody, and happy Sacred Samhain, All Hallows Eve, Day of the Dead, November 1st, and all the other amazing energies taking place here in our world, in our ever-awakening world. I'm Love Coach Scott Katamas, and it is a Wednesday night edition of the Awakening World. I want to welcome all of you that are in our Zoom room. And I really want to say a big hello to all the people watching on Facebook, Conscious Awakening Network, Humanities Team, Alan Steinfeld's YouTube channel, our own YouTube channel. Our statistics are showing that more and more people are watching us those ways. And a big thank you to John and Summer Raymer with the Sign Network, who get us out to up to 150, sometimes even 200 Facebook groups and pages. So thank you, John and Summer, for getting us out to so many people. And if you're watching the show tonight, you are probably coming off of a Halloween experience and all interesting how it is for different people. Maybe some of you actually were connecting to beloveds on the other side. We did a show a few nights ago where we talked about that in many, many cultures and traditions, Celtic culture, Mexican culture, Hindu culture, this period of time is when the veils are thin and we can connect to our beloveds on the other side. So I'm curious if any of you have had an experience like that. Let us know. Pop it into the chat box. Now, of course, that works for all the people that are in our Zoom room. But what about those of you that aren't in the Zoom room? Well, I want to invite you to come and join the Global Peace Tribe. It's really easy. Just go to globalpeacetribe.com. Like what's behind me, globalpeacetribe.com. When you go there, you're going to learn all about us. We have been around for 3.5 years, and we're going to talk a lot today about how we started, because we have an amazing guest who I'll introduce in a few moments, who's going to give us some very interesting insight about the Global Peace Tribe. But you'll learn all about us, all the different shows that we do. We've done over 500 shows, and I want to invite you to register for our current season. When you register, you're going to get the links to all of our Zoom rooms for all of our shows for the rest of the year. And as I said, we do 2 or 3 shows every week, and we do a meditation every evening. And we want to invite you to join us for all of these things. This is the show that you're seeing tonight, our quarterly community show. And this is the show we'll be doing on Saturday nights, all about ascension. Deborah Giusti will be back co-hosting along with Anastara and some really wonderful guests. Great music. Always we have wonderful music with Omoshar. And on Saturday night, Theo Grace is coming back. So come and join the Global Peace Tribe. If you register now, you'll get the links within about 60 seconds. and then you can come right into our Zoom room. And one of the things that's going to be wonderful about tonight is we have a world-class astrologer with us. We're going to be hearing from Maggie Engel, who is an angelic, well, clearly an angel herself, who's come into human form to help usher in the awakening world. And she is going to do an astrological reading on the Global Peace Tribe. And she's also going to answer questions. She also has a really wonderful connection to the angelic realm, and is going to help us learn more about that connection. We also have with us Connie, our wonderful honeymooner, and her husband, Andrew, who, among many other things, he's an author, he's a filmmaker, he's a pop artist. And we're going to get a special opportunity to see his pop art, learn about the genius that goes into that. And as always, we love to start our shows with music, which means, yes, he's with us in his brand new cotton shirt, celebrating the winter of Colorado that has arrived, with a new backdrop that we have not seen before. Take it away, brother, co-pilot Omashar.
Songs of life and love. Come with knowing our day draws nearer. Come with joy and endless love. And sacred dancing breathes our heart song. Silent yearning keeps alive. A union blessed before beginning, a preordained beyond all time. Each step I take is one step closer to joyous stride into the new. Each breath I breathe takes me inside your heart. Now I remember how to feel, and I remember how to fly. One I am, fly. Open to our sacred merger, shedding tears of divine bliss. Every movement tells a story, and nothing could compare with this. Understanding, and breathing light through every word. Our lives become so undemanding, and finally seen finally heard. step I take is one step closer to you. A joyous stride into the new. Each breath I breathe takes me inside your heart. Now I remember how to feel, and I remember how to fly. The one I am, fly. I am that I am. I am that I am. The one I am. The one I am. I am that I am.
Woohoo! You are what you are. We are what we are. I am what I am. Thank you very much, Omashar. I really appreciate that.
I
Appreciate
missed
it.
the Obashar thing.
And Omashar will be back with not one, but two more songs tonight. So it's going to be a good night of music. Thank you, beloved. Well, while I was in Ashland, Oregon last week, I saw my good friend Greg Magic Bernstein. Many of you know him. He's been on the show a few times. We had dinner together, and he was telling me all about the great love of his life. And I always love hearing that people are in a great relationship, and Magic's a great guy. And I've actually been his coach, coached him through a previous relationship. And he was just talking about how wonderful his girlfriend was and what an angel. And he said, you know, you should have her on your show. And I said, well, introduce us. So that's how I first was connected with Maggie. And here she is. And as I got talking to her, I discovered that she's an amazing astrologer. She's also just has a real unique approach to astrology and to understanding our world. And she made a really lovely suggestion. She said, what would it be like for me to do an astrological reading on the Global Peace Tribe itself? And I thought, well, now that would be interesting. Sure. And then she said, well, you know, you should probably give me your information too. And so I said, all right. And sure enough, here we are. Maggie has put together a look at the birth date that I gave her. And I went with the very first show we ever did on April 4th, 2020. We didn't even call it Saturday Night Alive yet. It was just a opening fundraiser, but that was our first show. And then that led to Saturday Night Alive, and then it led to all my other online shows. And here we are. So Maggie, welcome to the Awakening World. It's wonderful to have you here. A couple of other things about her. She is an angel book author, a hospice RN, a retreat and ceremonial facilitator. And Maggie has dedicated her life to the exploration of the sacred, the expansion of love, and the experience of divinity. So welcome. It's wonderful to have you with us, Maggie.
Thank you, Scott. It's such an honor to be here amongst all these beautiful faces and just wide open hearts. I really feel what a community of love this is. It's really an honor.
Oh, thank you. It's great to have you with us. Now, tell us a little bit, how do you experience divinity? Like, as I read that from your bio, what does the experience of divinity mean to you?
Well, I mean, to be honest, that's been such an ever-evolving relationship in my life from as far back as I can remember. And for me, it changes and it shifts throughout different phases in my life. But it's that pure consciousness, that moment of being present with myself in my heart and feeling the love that is me, that is all around me, that is everything, that's all of existence. And you know, different things in my life have brought me to those experiences, the experience of the sacred and the every simple, mundane and profound moment. And and it's something that I will always play in, and I love the experiencing divinity can be me in a crowd of thousands of people and feeling the connection of all of that. And it could be me alone for days in silence in the forest. It can show up in just a myriad of different ways. It could be, the divinity in washing the dishes. And that's where I'm bringing the sacred into my everyday mundane moments more and more. And just deepening into that feeling of unconditional love that's ever present.
That is a beautiful perspective, and it's really important. I found that a lot of the teachers that I have the most respect for, that's what they talk about. It's like, it's not just going to church and being spiritual when you read a poem or something. It's doing everything with love. There's a video that we play frequently on this show, which I had commissioned, which was all about doing everything with love. And so that is a beautiful experience of divinity. Now tell us a little bit about how you kind of got connected to your angel work and to your astrology.
Yeah, it's very kind of separate paths, but very similar. I've always had a deep yearning to connect with the sacred. So I began my spiritual adventuring and seeking, shall we say, when I was a young child. And I was not raised with any formal religion, so I had to form my own relationship with divinity. And then with the angels, they came in. Now, they didn't strongly come into my life until 2016. And that's when they kind of knocked me upside the head. And during a really profound cranial sacral section, actually, I had Archangel Michael and Archangel Raphael show up and perform an absolutely profound mystical healing that had all of these incredible synchronicities involved. And from that moment on, the angels really started working. I became aware of their presence in my life. I imagine they were there the whole time, and I awoke to them really strongly in 2006. From the presence in my life, yeah, and my journey with astrology began when I was a teenager. I just was drawn to the language of energy. I love being able to interpret energy and put a language to it. And that's what astrology does for me, because everything is energy, and it's just another language of energy. And we have lots of different languages of energy, and it's just the one that really draws me, that I'm passionate about. I love the archetypes, the symbology.
And how do you kind of get your astrological information? Like, how much of it is based on the science that you've studied, and how much of it is your intuitive sense?
Yeah, I've thought about that, to try and how much is each, because it's very strongly intuitive. I'd say in any given moment, it could be anywhere from 41, 60 the other, and it might switch depending on what's happening, because there's so much of a science and a knowledge base to the study of astrology. I could study it every moment for the rest of my life, and I would still have more to learn. It's such a vast science, and I'll be a forever student of it. And it unlocks my intuition. It unlocks my psychic senses. I can not have much of a sense of something, and all of a sudden I can look at a chart, and it can unlock all of these psychic downloads for me. So it's both. It's really my astrological readings are both very much the science and the intuition.
Wow, wonderful. All right, well, I'm excited. What did you find when you looked at kind of the astrology of the Global Peace Tribe?
Yeah, it's really beautiful. And I love being able to look at organizations, institutions, events, and then the relationship between things, right? That's what is really beautiful, to have your information, because the Global Peace Tribe was born from you. It was a creation. It was one of your babies. And so your signature is very much in there as well. And so I can see the relationship there as well. So it's incredibly beautiful. the global peace tribe itself is a 15 degrees Aries sun. Now, I use a system of astrology. I'm a Western astrologer, and I use it's called a step system. One of my main teachers in astrology is a wonderful man named Christopher Witecki, and he channeled in a step system for the degrees. So it's an even more finite understanding of the astrology. So the degrees play into a big part of what I read. So at 15 degrees of Aries, 15 is the degree of Venus. It's the degree of being open to, it's the degree of harmonization. And so the global peace tribe as a 15-degree Aries sun in the 7th house means that the essence, the heart of the global peace tribe is to bring harmony and harmonization and peace and beauty and balance to the individual and to the individual's relationship to everything. So it just in the essence of the heart of the sun and to do that passionately and to do that very authentically from a place of truth and from a place of, the global peace tribe is not like anything else. It's unique and it's passionate as its independent signature, right? And it brings such harmonization. So it's that in and of itself I love, and it's really beautiful. The moon and the rising sign of the global peace tribe are both Virgo. So and Virgo, I don't know how many of you know this, but the rulers of Virgo are Mercury and Chiron. And Mercury is the teacher or the communicator, and Chiron is the healer. So the body of the global peace tribe brings healing and teaching to the world. And the emotional intent of the global peace tribe is the moon sign is 2 degrees in the 12th house. So it's about connecting to the emotional body, nurturing and nourishing with the energy of divinity, the collective. So there's so much in the chart of the global peace tribe that is about healing, that's about teaching, that's about communication, that's about nourishment and nurturing, and having this really high level devotional teaching. So it's really profound. And one of the things that's I think the most significant. So the global peace tribe was born just a couple months after one of the most significant astrological events in recent years, which astrologers talked about for years and years, and that was the Saturn-Pluto conjunction of the very beginning of 2020, in January of 2020. It's kind of what precipitated the COVID crisis, and astrologers had talked about it for many, many years because it was a start to a transformation in structural reality around us. And then we also had Jupiter move into this area, which expands it. So on the birthday of the global peace tribe, we have Jupiter conjunct Pluto in the 4th house. So what this means is that there's expansive emotional transformation of the inner self and the emotional self that's brought about by the global peace tribe. And it brings with it a deep wisdom and understanding and knowledge, because the asteroid Pallas Athena is there as well. So it brings in this expansion of wisdom and this ability to deepen in intimacy with our deepest parts, our inner child, and to bring, oh, I'm sorry, my kitty wanted to say hi.
All kitties are welcome, definitely.
This is Luna. Oh goodness. I apologize. She doesn't like being kicked out. She's a real kitty. That's Luna. I thought I'd gotten all the pets out of here. I have 2 cats and a dog.
No, it's great. It's my dog is right here, so totally awesome.
So the massive transformation that is available to people by engaging with the global peace tribe, it's a transformation of belief systems, of old belief patterns that keep us in not in emotionally expansive places, right? So there's this ability to emotionally transform, deepen in intimacy with ourselves and our relationships through engaging with the Global Peace Tribe because of this deep transformation. And it's also the responsibility of the Global Peace Tribe to bring a higher healing frequency to the planet of the heart. That's shown between Saturn conjunct the divine feminine healer Chariklo at 29 of Capricorn, and Mars is there. So there's all this like built-in healing passion. And then the way that your chart interplays with it is really, really fun, Scott. Like it's your Mars connects with the angelic energy of the Global Peace Tribe. So you standing in directive action, leading the Global Peace Tribe elevates the angelic energy and brings about more angelic harmonization into the deeper unconscious, subconscious parts of the collective, because the angelic energy for the Global Peace Tribe is helping to work on the parts of ourselves that we aren't fully aware of, the unconscious and subconscious. And so you bring your interaction with it and your leadership with it brings about more of that transformation and more of that stimulation of that angelic energy. Does that resonate?
Oh my God. I mean, my heart's like, because of course, as you saw in the video, the purpose of Global Peace Tribe is to inform and to inspire. And of course, these are such challenging times globally and very challenging for most people. And it is important for us to have authentic inspiration. And I love what you just said about how our angels were there to help guide us. And for me, they help us to see beyond or experience beyond our human experience, which is usually limited and uncomfortable, or often uncomfortable. So that's music to my ears. It feels really beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah. It's there's so much connection between you and the Global Peace Tribe. It's really beautiful. Like the south node of the Global Peace Tribe. We have what's called the south and the north node. And the south node is where we're coming from. It's like where we incarnated from. And the north node is where we're headed to in this lifetime. And the mission, part of the mission and the legacy of the Global Peace Tribe is to bring this high level, to leave a legacy of deep nourishment and nurturing to the masses. And the inception point, the south node point, though, is your heart. It's your sun. So it was born from your heart, and it's moving to a legacy of like nurturing and nourishment for the collective. It's really sweet. There's lots of little connections like that are just very, very, very sweet. There's one thing that I'm really, really enthused to share. And so number sequences, right? Like I see them all the time. I'm sure you guys see them all the time. I've been doing charts for years. I've done hundreds and hundreds of charts. And I don't see very many number sequences because the degrees always have minutes to follow. So like the sun sign of the Global Peace Tribe is 15 minutes and 43 seconds. But I think I've maybe seen 2 or 3 number sequences in charts before. It's not a normal thing. And when it happens, it's usually very significant. There's a reason, there's a focus of energy. And so in the system that I follow, the number 1 is the number of love. So it's the number that's associated with Leo, with creation, with passionate inspiration, with the heart, with love, unconditional love, right? And Venus in our chart, Venus it's the divine feminine energy. It's where we experience pleasure. It's where we open up to receive. It's how we harmonize and find grace and beauty in the world. And the Global Peace Tribe, their Venus, our Venus is 111 of Gemini in the 9th house, right? So, and, there's so much talk about the evolution of consciousness and expansion into consciousness. And many of us are learning how to connect more with our divine feminine. and really open up to the nourishment and the nurturing, and open up to receive higher levels of this really sweet divine feminine energy that's available to all of us. And what's beautiful is Gemini is the teacher, the ruler is Mercury. So the Global Peace Tribe loves to connect in community, Gemini, and teach about love and unconditional love, and open up to receive expansive, abundant in the ninth house love. And it's like this, the ruler of the ninth house is Jupiter. So everything in the ninth house is very expansive. It's higher idealism. It's multidimensional reality, right? So it's this beautiful, like the Global Peace Tribe, we love to connect in community and expand in love, and it's like it's limitless with this energy. So it's such a really fun thing to see that Venus placement.
Oh my God, I'm loving this. This is beautiful. We are at a couple minutes after our normal time we go to meditation. We're going to come back to Maggie a little bit later in the show, but Maggie, this is amazing. And could you put in the chat box a little bit about how it connects to Gemini at 111? I think that's really cool. And we're gonna go to Nicholas in just a minute for our meditation. But I want to read a couple of the comments that have come in, Maggie, to what you shared. Diara remembered that night that you were talking about way back in 2020. Eleanor Joy points out that cats are very psychic, so she believes that it was perfect timing for the cat to jump. Susan Bloomquist writes, I like the angel inspiration and the amplification of this energy. Tiara writes, authentic inspiration. Dia writes, this, Maggie, is what I've been longing for, to help me educate others to what the Global Peace Tribe is all about. Maximum gratitude and love. And welcome back, Mark Denisovsky. We're happy to have you back. Eleanor Joy writes, excellent confirmation and affirmation for you, for us, and for Scott. And so keep those comments coming in. We're going to come back to Maggie a little bit later on in the show. I want to welcome all the people that are watching who have come in from our Twin Ray meditation group. It's always great to have you with us. And it is Wednesday night, which means that tonight our meditation, as every Wednesday night, is being led by our beautiful beloved brother Nicholas, coming to us live from the Haven in Ashland, Oregon. Hello, brother.
Hello, brother. Good to be with you again.
It's always good to have you with us. And I'm turning it over to you.
Okay. Thank you very much. It's always so grateful to have this opportunity to hold this space. And we'll take the inspiration of this beautiful wisdom sharing from beloved Maggie, and we'll show up to do the work and what the Global Peace Tribe is all about, to live it, to be it. And so as she was sharing and what the Global Peace Tribe stands for, what its path is in its life, the energy signature, so to say. And meditation came of inspiration. So we're going to use the pointer finger, the Jupiter finger, as well as the thumb to create a triangle, and sit that triangle right in front of your heart center. You can curl the other fingers into the palm and be precise with allowing the palms to face forward. And hold that posture. Begin to let the eyes soften down. Find a length in the spine and take a deep breath in and a full sigh out. Twice more at your own pace, fully in and a sigh out. Once again. Softening into the moment, into the body, into the breath. And with the breath, we're going to begin very precise rhythm of the breath. Through the nose, we'll inhale deep, smooth and steady. And as you exhale through the mouth without any effort, you're just going to let the breath glide out. Let the air just wash over the lips, barely crack the lips open. And repeating this cycle like so. In through the nose, breathing in deep. And through the mouth, very effortless, graceful exhale. Continuing like so. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And as you do, on your inhale, begin to invoke the intention. Breathe in all the love of your heart. All of that warrior spirit that you have. That compassion, that kindness that you are. Breathe that in. And when you exhale, let that energy symbolically just blanket the earth. Send this love out. And may all of our breaths blanket this earth with this blessing, with this peace, with your intention, with each exhale. To breathe in that love. Breathe in that warrior spirit. And exhale the grace, the peace, the compassion. Holding the vision of what is true. Continuing like so. And they say that we are only as limited as our imagination. Dream big and let that love that you are, that we are, harmonize and spread across the earth. May we be an example, an embodiment of peace, of love. When the world needs it most, may we shine our brightest. A few more moments here. Be very intentional with that breath in, breathing into that heart. Really light up that heart like a sun. And then shine it out, radiate it out with each exhale. A few more rounds. Cherish this moment with all we got, fully present. Breath after breath, praying our hearts out. And together, uniting once again with a full breath in. At the top of your inhale, pause, lift that spine, soften the shoulders, hold the breath, and a graceful exhale through the mouth, sighing out. At the bottom of your exhale, relax the posture. Soften into the space. Feel any subtle nuances, any sensations and experiences within, deeper within, go. Feel the flow of the breath. Holding this feeling of love, of oneness together, within and throughout. practice of remembering and the art of returning. Remember who and what we are. Again and again, return to that truth until there's nothing left but that love, that truth, whole and complete. For this is the way, peace within, first and foremost, doing the work within, and then sharing that. Now, the last part of our meditation, cross the arms over the chest. Let the hands come into the armpits. Let the elbows rest down upon the hands. And give yourself a big hug. Any stress, any worries, any disturbance, wash away. Ground it in. Taking one more cleansing breath together. Fully letting go and trusting in the divine. Gently releasing the hands from under the armpits, palms unite. Sealing up the field, meditation, giving thanks, honoring each one of you. Namaste. All right.
I'm going to go to gallery view. Let's all twinkle and appreciate beautiful brother Nicholas. He just does such a wonderful, wonderful job for us each Wednesday night. Thank you, Nicholas.
Thank you so much. Have a
Sylvia
evening.
wrote that the gong behind you looks like giant angel wings. So that's kind of a beautiful way of seeing it.
Thank you.
And a reminder, everybody. Whoop.
The best buddy here.
Andrew's always the same.
Oh, there we go. I gotta put the spotlight back on you. And a reminder that Nicholas is available for individual sessions. He teaches yoga. Of course, you can, if you're a national Oregon, you can take yoga directly with him. But he also teaches privately. And so people can reach out to Nicholas. I'll put his email address into the chat box, and that's a good way to reach him. And Nicholas, what days are you doing yoga now?
Every day. But particularly here at the Haven, just Wednesday nights.
Okay.
I've been doing many different offerings online mostly these days. So if anyone feels inspired, I'd be honored to offer my guidance, or you can join into some of the courses that I'm offering online right now.
Well, tell us about that. Is there a website with those courses, Nicholas?
There's not. I'm not that official yet, Scott. Right now, it's just a Telegram channel.
Okay.
But if you want to email me, I can send them all the information.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I'll put your email address into the chat box right now. Thank you very much, Nicholas. Have a beautiful class tonight.
All my love.
Take care, brother. Oh, what a beautiful brother he is. Well, you know, every 2 or 3 months, we do a show like tonight, which is our community show where we celebrate you, the Global Peace Tribe, and all the members of our community. And of course, we've heard from Maggie, and we're going to hear more from her tonight about the Global Peace Tribe from an astrological point of view. But tonight, we are celebrating one of our original members. He was with us going all the way back to Saturday Night Alive for the Global Peace Tribe days. And both he and his beloved wife are people that we just love very much. But we're going to learn all about another side of Andrew Bailey. We know that he's a filmmaker. We know that he's a teacher. He's an author. He's a lecturer. But he also taught Andy Warhol everything Andy knew about pop art. Well, maybe not. But he is a pop artist. So hello, Andrew. Welcome back to the show. Of course, been on before teaching about the trust frequency. But tonight we get to see another side of you.
Hey, Scott. Hello, everybody. It's just a real treat to be here. Yeah, there's probably very few of you who have ever thought of me as an artist, a pop artist. I'm best known perhaps as a photographer, filmmaker, a musician, music producer, stuff like that. So I've got a little tiny 1 minute and 40-second video I made of a show that just came down yesterday. It ran here in East Hampton in Eastern Long Island in New York for the month of October. And my part of the show was a four artist show. My part was called Queens of America. And America does not have monarchs. I always have a little bit of a political or a social or a spiritual component to everything I do. In fact, this is a brand new piece I'm just completing as we speak. It's called The Loving Universe. So it's all one great big love story. So this little video, I think I'm going to start with that just to sort of set the stage. And it does have a piece of music that I composed as the soundtrack. So what
Wonderful.
do I do? And Scott, can I go right ahead and do that?
Yeah, go ahead and screen share. Make sure you optimize sound.
And what do I do? Optimize sound for video, right?
Exactly.
Optimize for video clip. Okay, let's give it a shot. Here we go. This first image you'll see is the Queen of Sheba, and there's a whole bunch of other queens, and some of the queens are male, some are female. Andy Warhol was a famous cross-dressing drag queen. You know, there's all this sort of stuff. So here we go. I think share. And play. So
Well,
there.
that was interesting. I love that.
And now that wasn't all queens. I did throw some other stuff in there just to give it a little more variety. This is a project that I've been developing since the early 1980s. And if I can find the actual piece, I did it. The very first thing in this series I called her 25th, not 21st or 20th, but 25th century Aphrodite, a sort of future digital pixelated angel of love. And I'll find that for you. So I've been doing this for a long time, and now the technology has changed and shifted, so I can really be playful and productive and have a lot of fun with this. So they're purely digital in their origin. I have another aspect that I call my digital watercolors that are my photography that I transmute into beautiful digital paintings, if you will. But these are actually 100% digitally generated and put out, printed on exhibition fine art quality canvas on one of these widescreen printers. And I'm having a lot of fun with it, and people are really liking it. So I'm wide open to questions or input or feedback. And after a little bit, I'd like to go to our Connie and I actually have an art for us. Started with our photography, but it's the pop art and the photography, and it's Cameron Baxter Gallery, so we can go there and take a little tour of some imagery. Scott, what thoughts do you have?
Well, I have a couple questions for you. I love that you talked about how everything you do has some sort of a spiritual or social statement or connection. So I would love for you to take us through that with maybe a couple of the pieces, sort of the piece that's behind you, how you weave your creative expression with social consciousness or even spiritual awakening.
So there's sort of a term that seems to be emerging. It's called conscious creativity, right? So we can make music, we can make inspiring, uplifting music, we can do paintings, we can make films, all of these different manifestations of the creativity of the human being. I like to call it AI, the artist inside, because if you really want to know what AI means, it's actually the emerging artist, the emerging spirit of humanity. So if you go back to the pop art of the 1960s, it was a huge global phenomenon. It was very, very big. Those paintings that Andy Warhol was selling for $25 are now 25 to 125 million for the same piece of art, okay? But they were Campbell's soup cans and tubes of toothpaste and very mundane objects. What I'm doing is completely different in that I'm trying to evoke in the most minimal form the spirit of certain aspects of the universe. So in those queens that you just saw, there was who for example, it asked this very political question. Who is the Queen of America? Is it Queen Elizabeth? That would be Elizabeth Taylor. She's a candidate. Or if you're a Christian, perhaps you might say, oh, it's Queen Mary, the Virgin Mary. So there's all of these beautiful, deeply spiritual energies that are within these images. So each of these has a story behind it. That's the very first image you saw there, the wild African lady with a blue face. What's she doing as a Queen of America? Well, I call her the Queen of Sheba. And I don't know if you know this, but the Queen of Sheba, countless generations ago, went to visit King Solomon. King Solomon actually raped her, apparently, got her pregnant, and started the lineage that became the Ethiopian Empire that leads us all the way to Haile Selassie, all the way to Rastafari, all the way to the present-day Rastafarian religion, which has come to America. So the Queen of Sheba is a candidate for a Queen of America. And there was Freddie Mercury. Was he a queen? Well, he had a band called Queen, and so on. So it's just playing with this, playing with gender identity, all these controversial things, and the deep inner spirit of these beings that we can evoke through very simple lines and bold, simple colors. Does that make any sense?
Absolutely. You know, what came to my mind when you asked who is the Queen of America, immediately I got the image of the Statue of Liberty.
Oh, I haven't thought of her.
Yeah, so you got to add her there, because that for so many and most of our or many of our ancestors, that was the very first thing they saw when they came to America. The first thing they saw was the Statue of Liberty, and they're greeting them. So that would be my Queen of America.
Okay, yeah, good for you. Yeah, people keep suggesting different queens. I mean, there's
George Noble is suggesting the Queen of Sexuality, Marilyn Monroe.
Marilyn Monroe is an obvious candidate. I actually don't have her in that show. I've done Marilyn, a very obvious one. I think I started with Marilyn. Yeah, no question.
Well, we've got some questions that are coming in from our audience. Diara wants you to tell us more about the figures in Paris.
The what?
The Figures in Paris. Diara writes, tell us more about the figures in Paris.
Oh, thank you. Oh, cool. Okay, so there are two figures at the end in Paris, right? One of them is a Chihuahua, and he's wearing a black beret. I almost always wear a black beret. Right, so here we are. I am a Frenchman and I wear my black beret, and people say, oh, you must be an artist. You've got that Eiffel Tower behind you. So that dog, that bright green dog, is actually me. I don't know if you remember a book, James Joyce's early book called Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man. And then the poet Dylan Thomas did Portrait of the Artist as a Young Dog. And that painting is called Portrait of the Dog as a Young Artist. And he's asking a question. He's got his palette with his colors, his brushes. He's got the Eiffel Tower in the background. He's got the black beret. And he's asking a question. He's saying, am I an artist yet? Asking that question, what is an artist? What is art? What does it take to be an artist? So that's part of that. And then the last image was a sort of self-portrait, as you may have guessed. So there's a whole series I did, and I'd love to share it with you at some point. It's kind of funny. I get into very comedic things. I have a character who came to Paris in the year 1620, just as the Mayflower was sailing across the Atlantic. This UFO, the spaceship, dropped off this intergalactic anthropologist, ethnographer, in the grimy streets of Paris, and said, just blend in with the locals, take a lot of notes, and we'll be back. And they left him there. And he tried to blend in with the locals, but he had a problem. His skin was chartreuse. It was bright green. There's no way he could blend in with the locals except after dark. So he became this nocturnal character. And the only creature who would come close to him was this cat. So he bonded with this cat. And a whole story, I think it might be a children's book. Anyway, that dog, that Chihuahua, started out as a cat, mutated, decided to want to be a dog. It's very silly, absolutely silly, because a part of pop is that pop is fun. It is bright. It is laughter-inducing. It's heart-opening. It's joyful. That make sense?
Absolutely. There's a lot of comments coming in right now. We're going to go back for a moment. I'm going to get to a couple of other questions in a moment. But Dia Therese writes, wasn't the Queen of Sheba, Nefertiti, in an earlier lifetime the mother of Akhenaten? I don't know, but maybe you know about that.
I don't either. I only know. Oh, and one thing that's interesting is in the website, I have little stories. Sometimes they're out of Wikipedia telling you who the characters are and what their history is.
Oh, that's fun.
Sheba traveled. She was like the queen of present-day Ethiopia, and she made a journey to King Solomon and was impregnated by him. And that's all I know about it, and returned pregnant. That was
Susan Bloomquist writes, Susan writes that there is a story that Queen Sheba took the Ark of the Covenant back home to Ethiopia. So that's interesting.
No, I haven't heard that.
We have a couple more. We have a couple more nominations for Queens of America. Sylvia suggests Michelle Obama. And Tiara suggests
Michelle.
Yeah, you've done Michelle. Does
And Marion. And Marion.
Michelle?
Don't forget Marion Williamson. She's a candidate.
That's right. Diara suggests Taylor Swift, the Queen of Young Teens.
Yeah. I've got Beyonce, because I was trying to be culturally diverse as well.
This is good. This is very good. All right, we have another question. Going back, Maureen wanted you to just tell us more about the recent painting that's directly behind you.
So this is brand new. By the way, I'm sitting in a building that I designed and built 24 years ago. 25 years ago, this was a lawn. This was a beautiful lawn in West Hampton, New York. And a friend of mine who had purchased this property approached me and said, could I design and build for her a studio? So that's what this is. Connie's in another room, all the way down there. She's right around the corner. And I designed and built this beautiful building. It's an artist's studio, but it has 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms. And it's used for writing, painting, poetry, and spiritual meditation retreats. And we are all built this place, and we're always welcome here. So just finished a show, and I just showed you that that little video from that show. The next show opens on my birthday, which is coming up in 2 weeks, Friday. And this is my contribution to that show. So this is a sneak preview. You're seeing this for the first time. It's 4 feet wide by 5 feet high, and 20 artists are given a canvas of those dimensions. And this show it's called Open Season, and that is coming up in a couple of weeks. And this is that piece. It's ready, it's done, it's ready to frame. And the content,
Beautiful.
and the content of it is the love story of the universe. I think you can see the divine feminine there, and the divine masculine is clearly stricken. He's just turning into one big throbbing heart. I mean, what are you going to do?
I love that. Sylvia writes, by the way, that she was part of a church in the late 1990s where she was known as the Mother of the Queens. So we honor you, Sylvia, as the Mother of the Queens. George Noble points out that the Cathars were the last true Christians in which women were as important as men. Ayada points out, we were talking about 1620. That was the year that her great-grandfather sailed from England to the Virginia colony. Great-grandfather times 12, I should say. All right, I don't see any other questions right now, so I'll ask you one more. What are you going to take this on tour? How are we going to get more people to experience your pop art?
Yeah, exactly. So fortunately, we certainly can expose it to people, share it with people online. That's helpful. I'm just coming out of the closet with this, Scott. It's brand new, and it is for sale. And as you know, we're making a film called In Search of the Future. And this is part of my fundraising strategy. If I can sell enough art, if people will buy these paintings, and we can spend it on making this beautiful film, and I think there's a lot of people in this show who know exactly what we're talking about there. I'm trying to find the website. I think I'll open that up. Scott, did Connie put the website in the...
Yeah, she put it in, so I can open it
galleries,
up. Yeah, exactly. So let me open that up for us, and we'll take a look. It's Cameron Baxter Galleries. We're going now to Cameron Baxter Galaxies. You can see where my head is at. Cameron Baxter Galleries, not Galaxies.
Right.
And you are providing a 20% discount on people's first order.
Yeah, so click that away, that discount.
Yeah.
There. And that first one there, that's the Queen of New York. It's based on a transvestite I ran into one night on the streets of Manhattan.
I love it.
Very, as you can tell, exceedingly exotic being.
I'm going to go to the Queens of America.
There's Marilyn.
Since we talked about it, so there's Marilyn, there's the Queen of New York, Madonna, the Virgin, Frida, Guadalupe, grandmother circa 1915, the Queen of Sheba.
And the last one is 25th century Aphrodite, 1984. Click on that one, Scott.
Okay, I'm clicking on it.
Look what happens.
It's not opening. Let's see if it works up. I got it. There we go.
Yeah. So that started out as a black and white photograph and was fed into a $150,000 one-of-a-kind custom computer graphics system at the School of Visual Arts in Manhattan. Big mouthful there, but those were the days. This is long before Photoshop, about 1982. And I came up with this very strange looking being. So I've been doing this for a while.
Wow. Well, this is exciting. This is really exciting. And there's some new messages that have come in. I'm going to read those. And DR says, I love your music as well as your artwork. Maureen, our dear friend, says Andrew has been a designer and builder of houses and spaces, in addition to all the rest. Yes, I agree, Maureen.
I'm sitting inside one, Maureen. Thank you. I'm sitting inside one right now. In fact, you were just in New Jersey at Newark Airport about 70 miles from here. I wish you'd just stop by. Really, I'd love to share this with you. This place is fun.
And you were just with our beloved friends, Kristen Hoffman
We
and
were
David
indeed.
Gershon.
We were, David Gershon and Kristen, over the weekend up Woodstock Way, interviewing them for the In Search of the Future movie.
Beautiful. And we're going to learn a little bit more about the In Search of the Future movie. I think you're going to show the trailer a little bit later on today when we bring Connie back on.
Right.
And thank you. We're going to be back with Connie and Andrew and also Maggie in a little bit. But it is time for another Omoshar tune. And we've got lots of people getting up, moving, and dancing tonight. I'm happy to see Eleanor and Ian leading the charge. Maybe Reverend Jeffrey will give us a little dance. Hey, Brother Omoshar.
Hey. Andrew, you rock, brother. I love the piece behind you right there. I want that. That is so beautiful. How many thousand is that going to cost?
It's not going to cost much, especially for you, mate.
Oh, I just love it. I really do.
It's
So
fun,
there we
isn't
go.
it?
And
Really
in your
fun.
honor, here's a nice backdrop for you. So,
Woo!
woohoo! All right. Love inside us all. I am the heart, I am the soul. It's in every one of us, the heart of us all. It's the driving force of us, the way of the universe. Radiant sunrise is why we're here. Heart streaming light into our atmosphere, where life is dear and love will free us. Trees, I am the soil, I am it's all I am. It's the driving force of us, the wave, the universe. I am. Radiant sunrise is why we're here. Hearts streaming light into our atmosphere, where life is dear and love will free us.
Big twinkles to Omashar. Lots and lots of love to Omashar. Hey, and to remind everybody that all things Omashar live at his website, which is his name, omashar.com. And let's definitely support him. You're going to learn more about him. And as always, we want to encourage people to go to Bandcamp. That is the place to buy his albums. That's where he gets the most income back. And his albums are also wonderful. I mean, those of us that are regulars, every single one of your songs, Omashar, is like it's the music of the Global Peace Tribe. It really is. And you know, when Maggie, in fact, this is a good segue. I'm going to bring Maggie on as well right now while we're still you online. I mean, you know, she's talking about the angelic energies. Well, you bring that angelic energy, Omashar, through every song that you play. Your music, the words, the lyrics are so inspiring. You know, the melodies are what we dance to and what we carry in our head for the rest of the night. But your words are so inspiring.
Yeah, the melodies, the carry-away, the music. Yeah. So we can get in there. You can rap the most divinely inspired, heart-opening music in whatever genre that anyone wants to listen to, and they'll hear it. They'll hear the music first, and they go, "Hang on, those lyrics are pretty interesting." And anyway, it's in through the outdoor. So there it is.
Well, we love you so much, and we
Thank
appreciate
you.
you.
So much. Namaste.
Yeah, absolutely. And Maggie, you know, this is your first time on the Awakening World. And you know, every show is a little bit different. Every show has its unique quality. Sometimes we have lots of guests, sometimes a few. But I'm sure that I'm curious, as you've heard a couple of Omashar songs now, and he does 2 or 3 songs for every show we do, and it's been doing that for 2 years now. So how does that fit into your understanding from an astrological standpoint of our Global Peace Tribe?
Well, I love this question. It's really beautiful. It brings some of the pieces full circle. Both Omashar's beautiful, like harmonious healing frequencies from the music that you bless this community with, Omashar. So I'm so grateful. Thank you. It's really, really beautiful. And Andrew, your creations and the beauty and the healing that they bring into the community. There's so much creative energy in this community. The number 15, it really is about creation in community and creation for community. And as a 15-degree Aries sun, the Global Peace Tribe is, as they have their angel energy at 15 degrees of Scorpio. And then that Venusian energy is all about creation and harmonization as well. So there's this, it really is all of the creations that come from the community and from the connection of the community that are shared here really are such a rich part, and they're the essence that kind of weaves that harmonization and that peace and that beauty and that connection through the community. So it's like the creations and the creative energy that's born from the connections of the community that are born into the community all go to elevating the frequency of the collective, right? Like it's this this, as I touched on a little bit earlier, like part of the sole mission of the Global Peace Tribe, part of like the dharmic mission of this community is to bring in high, expansive, healing love frequency and vibration to the planet, and to do that with passion. And it's that passionate inspiration that comes from this creativity that's born from our heart, right? And born from the heart of each of the members, because it's that airy, like it's, you know, it's a community and a collective. And yet every single individual in this community holds such a beautiful healing creation that is like, that goes to the collective vibration of the community. Does that resonate? Did I say that in a way that made sense?
Absolutely. I'm going to bring Omishar on for that. And yeah, you know, as you were saying it, I was reminded that during one of Omishar's song that he just sang, at the exact moment he was talking about being the bright light, there was Jerry Anderson. I'm going to put the spotlight on you, Jerry, if you hear this. And there was Jerry, and he had his arms up like this, right? Bringing in the light, bringing in the love. Jerry, by the way, Maggie is one of our most beloved members. He is a monk who is the steward of 10,000 acres of pristine land in Puerto Rico, and a beloved member of our Global Peace Tribe. And at the exact moment that Omishar was singing that, the lyrics had just fit, and there was Jerry, you know, bringing down the light.
It's so beautiful. And Maggie, you were talking about 15 degrees, and my ears picked up because my birthday is on the 15th of some month, and I thought, is there any correlation there, or is it just?
I always want to make the correlation between the birth dates and the degree, but there isn't, except for if the essence of the number, right? Like the essence of the number 15, you still carry in your signature, even if it's not the degree of your sign. And it's this beautiful, it's using 15 breaks down to a 1 and a 5. And so it's unconditional love with that 1. And that 5 is communication. And so it's how we communicate, speak, sing, share the rich unconditional love vibration, and that nets to a 6, and 6 is the harmonization. It's divine feminine energy, it's beauty, it's grace. It like weaves in harmonization to everything. So it's like the energy of what we communicate, what we sing, what we write, what we speak, what we create, weaves in this harmonization energy.
Beautiful. Thank you. Perfect answer. Thanks.
I would love for you to tell our audience more about how they can cultivate their own unique relationship to the angelic realm. Because I know a lot of our people do have angelic experiences, but I think some would like to cultivate more. So what can you share about that?
Absolutely. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to share about my relationship with the angels. And I've really deepened in my relationship with the angelic realm since 2016. And I get consistent messages and direction and guidance and so much love from this. I see angels as, it's this frequency of love that's here, and they're always available and wanting to help us with the most simplest to the most complex things in our lives. So, I can ask for a great parking spot and I get one, So the consistent message that I get from the angelic realm is there's nothing too small and there's nothing too big. And one of the ways that I like to connect with them when I'm feeling a little disconnected is by those simple things. Like I call them in simple ways so that I can feel them and I can reconnect with them. And, I talk to the angels like I would talk to, a friend. I don't think there needs to be any formality to it. And we also can be as formal as we want to. Sometimes I get deep in ceremony and I get really formal. And what I'm consistently told from the angelic realm is to just open up the dialogue, just start talking. And when you feel the angels speak to you, and it could be subtle at first, it's going to be an activation in your heart. They always work with our heart center, and they always activate that love within us, and it deepens and it expands and it opens us up. So it's for me, it's very easy to know that when I'm connecting with the angelic realm, because it's just like sparkle. It's like champagne and bubbles in my heart. It's the sweetest feeling. And I deeply connect with the mountain nature. So when I'm out in nature, I'm very much deeply connecting with the angelic realm. And I would start, if you're cultivating a deeper relationship with the angels and you haven't, I would ask them to start showing you signs of them being here in your life. Ask them to, start giving you symbols, and you'll start to find feathers, you'll start to find coins, you'll start to see number sequences. They're constantly wanting to give us affirmation of the fact that they're here in our lives. So it's just I feel for me, it's been just a consistent, simple practice of speaking to them, asking for help and guidance, and listening, dropping in and listening, and waiting to see, because they love to show up in the most interesting, exciting, beautiful ways too. And they love to kind of bring mystical experiences that really delight us. I'm sure many of you have had encounters with angels that bring such delight. It's really that beautiful energy.
I'd love to ask people, pop into the chat box your angel experiences. We want to hear about that. One of the things that came to mind as you were talking is that when we are wanting to connect to the angels or archetypes, it's really, really important for us to allow our imagination center to open. And sometimes we can stifle, like, oh, well, I'm just making that up, but allowing ourselves to just really imagine what Angel Michael or whichever angel you're calling upon, So do you have any tips about how to open our imagination center, how to hear or see that which is beyond our normal hearing and our normal sight?
Yeah, I really love this question, Scott, because I've been working with people who have profound spiritual experiences, and I myself have had profound spiritual, mystical experiences with the angelic realm, with the cosmic energies, and beautiful beings like Saint Germain and animal spirits. And the thing about it is, when you hear when we describe these things, they're so profound when they happen, and yet they can be very subtle as well. Like, we have to open up to the subtlety to start to hear it. And so don't discount the subtle. When the subtle comes in, look towards it, feel it, imagine maybe it's not me that's saying it. Maybe it is an angel. Open up to the possibility. Stay really open in your present moment, and play a little bit too. Maybe it is yourself, talking to yourself, and allow yourself to play in that. It's flexing a muscle of communicating with the multidimensional reality. And so, playing in that and staying open to the subtlety that exists. And the more that you stay open to the subtle, the more profound that the experiences become. At least has been my experience. It's been really incredible.
Beautiful. Well, there's something else I wanted to talk to you about. Maggie also is a hospice nurse. And boy, if you're going to leave this planet, can you imagine anybody more wonderful to just help guide you out? So I'm just imagining you've guided many, many, many beings out, or help them to prepare for the big journey of leaving the body. How does your hospice work and your connection to the angels juxtapose?
It's very interesting, right? Because I'm in the traditional Western medical world, in a role as a nurse, and it's I take all of it with me. And some of my, some of the patients that I serve are open to, to talking about the angels, and I feel it, either and sometimes they broach the subject of the angels, and so sometimes it's something that I speak about with my clients and we connect deeply over it, and their family members. A lot of times I'm connecting deeply with the family because the loved one is already in transition or in transitory experience. And then other times with every patient who I am engaged in, who is right at that crossroads, I always call in Archangel Azrael, who I've worked with for years. Archangel Azrael came to me before I started hospice and shared with me that this was to be part of my role here, and that I was to help Archangel Azrael and help souls, and that I do help souls as they cross over. And I always feel into everybody. I can feel the experience, and I'll tell you that most of what I feel is massive celebration. Massive celebration. It's almost every single time when I'm connecting and praying and calling in the angels for someone who has just departed or is departing. It's like this incredible celebration that I tap into, and it's really, really sweet. And I'm just really honored. Really, what it is for me is it's an incredible opportunity to be with people in an intimate space in when the veil is so thin, and to bring my love energy there and to intend that they have all the love, guidance, protection, whatever it is that their soul needs in that moment. And it's such an honor to be able to do that. I'm humbled, I'm consistently humbled that I get to have these experiences in life. And really, I do what I tell everyone to do, is just talk to the angels, to just call them in and to ask for their help. They know what to do. I don't need to direct them.
I'm going to read a couple comments and then we have one last question for you, Maggie. Ayada writes, I agree about talking with the angels as though they are dear hearts connected with us. And I often turn to Archangel Michael for support, guidance, and protection. I learned a few years ago to send out a request to Spirit in advance for perfect parking karma, and 99% of the time I get perfect spots. So that's pretty cool. And then Diara writes, I've had angels shapeshifter into human form to protect me. So grateful for them. Thank you, thank you, thank you for my life. They gift me with feathers all the time. Thank you, Maggie. And then our last question for you tonight, Maggie, is from George Noble, and he asks, Maggie, have you looked at the United States chart, wondering if there are any insights there about what lies ahead for us here in the United States?
That's an amazing question. And, I have studied the United States chart. The one thing that I'll share that's very significant right now is that the United States has been going through its Pluto return. So Pluto is the planet of death, transformation, rebirth. It's the energy of the phoenix rising. So when we have a significant Pluto transit, it's telling us that what is not meant to move forward with us in the evolution of consciousness will die or be transformed, right? And Pluto has a 240-year orbit. So we'll never, unless we have a massive technology that changes in our lifetimes, we will never have a Pluto return as individuals. But the United States has just completed its Pluto return. Literally 2 days ago, Pluto moved off of 27 degrees of Capricorn and will never be at that point again in our lifetimes, not for another 244 years. And so what that means is that we're in the final stages of the United States letting go of all of the structures that have been built in society that keep us in old paradigms, that keep us constricted, that keep us in paradigms related to patriarchy and related to that aren't expansive and aren't love-based, that aren't moving forward in human evolution. And we, as Pluto transits the last degrees of Capricorn, we're going to continue to see changes in the big structures of reality. And by big structures, I mean financial, the corporations, the companies, the actual things that have been built, government and society, right? So we're transforming. The United States is deeply, deeply transforming right now, and it's not done. It's in process. And so it's beautiful to watch. The thing that about Pluto is that it just won't let what's not meant for us to move forward. So we can be sure about that once we come through this period, that what is not meant for us has been transformed or has fallen away.
Well, speaking of transformational, we're going to go to your website. And when you pull it up, it says Transformational Spirituality. And her website is her name, Maggie Ann Engel, E-N-G-E-L, MaggieAnnEngel.com. Awaken to your true essence. So Maggie, obviously you do private sessions for people using intuitive astrology, transformative coaching, and you also lead retreats. Tell us a little bit more about all the services that you provide.
Yeah, so I love to share my love work and do readings with clients. I do, most of the readings that I do focus on what your energy signature is, whatever focus you're interested in, and then what's happening currently in the planetary energies and the cycles in your life, and how you're growing and evolving and shifting, where consciousness is directing you to expand, right? And then I also do astrological transformative coaching. So I have clients who are going through a lot of change in their life, and they'll come to me and we'll work together on a regular basis for a while to help them move through that change and understand the energy that's shifting in their world. And that's been very helpful for a lot of my clients. And then a lot of my clients I see on a semi-regular basis. They come see me every few months for an update. Yeah, I love that. And then I offer private retreats to Mount Shasta that include all of my love work, my miracle yoga, my astrology, my ceremonial services, and I do those one-on-one or with couples. Then I also have beautiful business partners. I have 3 beautiful spiritual business partners, and we have a company called Isvara Luz, and we are just a beautiful group of women who's here to help elevate in the consciousness, elevate in the pure consciousness of the divinity that each one of us is, and to help guide, coach, teach those that we serve through that. So we do global retreats. We had a beautiful, incredible retreat in San Miguel de Allende in March of this year. And our women had really quantum level frequency changes after this retreat. So many of them have shifted what they're doing. They're elevated more in what their heart dreams of. They've begun businesses, begun new healing practices, shifted their focus in their current businesses. So it's really beautiful to see them having incredible expansion in their life. We do something different too. After our retreats, we follow our women. We have a once a month mastermind group with them where we get together and we work on ourselves and what we're expanding in. So we all have different healing gifts, my business partners and I, and we also offer local workshops. We had a workshop for the equinox. We'll have one for the solstice here where we do a live streaming event. And it's in person as well here in Grants Pass. So it's a hybrid event, which features my miracle yoga, and my partner, Meta, beautiful angel from Denmark, is a precision energy healer. So she has incredible modality of energy healing that is highly effective at shifting frequencies in the body and helping to lead you into a heart-brain coherence. We're offering another retreat in April in San Miguel de Allende. We're planning a luxury retreat on a small cruise line. We have a lot of things that we're rolling out, and we have a platform that actually rolls out next week, November 6th. So on the platform, we'll have different offerings. We'll have my astrology offering for each new moon and full moon. I do a ceremony for each new moon and full moon that will also be there, which you can collectively participate in ceremony, and I'll have a way for you to intend your own personal ceremonial sacred energy as well. And then, you know, each of my partners has their love work that they share on the platform as well. So if you go to our website, Isvara Luz, you can sign up and have a taste of our platform with experience my new moon in Scorpio astrological assessment. So you'll gain access to that, because my astrological assessments will now be available through our platform.
And I'm actually have been showing the website. It's spelled ISVARALUZ. It's Vara Luz. ISVARALUZ.com. And of course, people are asking, what does that name mean? What is that name all about?
I love that there's questions about that. You know, there's a lot of, I have a lot of beloveds in my life, and there was controversy about the choice of our name, because it's not something that, you know, it's actually a word that we brought together, and it's a combination of different words, and the meaning of it is the light of pure consciousness, the light of love, the most divine light of love or pure consciousness. So it's that place which we access in our every now moment reality of the purity of our own consciousness, the essence of our authentic being, that love that is every one of us.
Maggie, that is you. You clearly carry that consciousness in such a beautiful way. And it's wonderful to have you as the newest member of the Global Peace Tribe. I'm delighted to get to know you. I'm so happy for my friend Magic to have such a wonderful partner that you are. And I would love for you and your collective to come back and be on the show sometime.
You would love that. We would absolutely love that. And I know that you would love all three of them. They're absolute beautiful angels. So that would be really such an honor.
So we'll do a show. We'll do a show with you and your collective. That'll be really fun.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much, Maggie.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you, everyone.
And stick around. We've got a little bit more. We're going to have closing. We always close with an Omoshar song, but we're going to go back to the honeymooners. And they're on a long honeymoon. And of course, I'm talking about Andrew and Connie. You two are so beautiful. You really are. All right. Should I start by showing this video? In Search of the Future?
Yes.
Okay.
It's in production. It's all our work with our interviewees, and so you're in it, and many of the Global Tribe community is in it. It's 3.5 minutes, and and Andrew did the music for it. So go for it.
Okay, here we go. I'm gonna play it, and here we go. it's like a travelogue of the Global Peace Tribe through your, adventures. It's like, oh, they're in the Bay Area now. Oh, they're down in Santa Cruz. Oh, now they're up in Sebastopol. I could literally, because I know where all those different people are located. And of course, probably 80 or 90% of the people who just saw have been on this show over the years.
Absolutely. And these are the world changers. These are the changers, the high vibe
makers.
change makers that are going to be are in our film. Where we've done a 12-minute teaser, and we're working on the film, and we're looking forward to getting to Australia to bring in the Aboriginal wisdom. And we're doing fundraising for that. I put a link in the chat for various funding opportunities, because we have a 501c3 fiscal sponsor. Rita Marsh is the Center for Human Flourishing. So a donation to them over $250 is a win-win-win, because one gets a tax donation, one benefits the Center for Human Flourishing, and one benefits our film and us getting to Australia. So that's that. And we also have our trust frequency work that is, I'm just going to kind of move on through, because how much time do we have, Scott?
5, 7, 8 minutes, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
the trust frequency work and the book, which is 10, 11 years old now.
yeah,
Woo.
and it's really exciting. I just wanted to share all this with you all. That Dr. Jude Currivan came on a panel with us for the Humanities Team Global Oneness Summit that was a couple of weeks ago. And she's come on board with the trust frequency, really supporting this construct on the conscious, loving nature of the universe, moving beyond duality into that field Rumi talks about, beyond right doing and wrong doing. When we get out of victim, perpetrator, right, wrong, good, evil, we shift our frequency into that place where we're going to bring heaven to earth and peace on earth. But until we get to that level, as far as I'm concerned, we're in a lower vibration. We're not going to get there. So we've just got to do that shift into understanding. In fact, it is all love. It's just the nature of that love, which is unconditional, which gives us everything we ask for. And what do we ask for? How do we ask? It's our consciousness. So we've got the whole framework with that. And we have online ebook that is the Conscious Loving Universe that I put on earlier. I put a link to it with Andrew's, his pop art, the Conscious Loving Universe. Anyway, that's that part. And what I'm putting in the chat. Oh, so I'm putting in the chat an unlisted video of our panel with Jude. And so take that link. It's unlisted at this point because it's a recording from the Humanities Team thing that's just available on Humanities Team platform. So that unlisted link will take you to the panel with Jude. And so that's really exciting. And then there's one more thing, which is, and has to do with America. Okay, and Maggie was so wonderful expressing that divine destiny of America, that the with the Pluto thing and everything. I'm not too into astrology, but you really expressed what I know to be true, and that has to do with America's promise to the world. What's in our freedom documents is a promise that we've made, that the founders made, that they saw this divine destiny of humanity. It's really the evolution of consciousness of humanity that this country is dedicated to becoming. And it is a process. We aren't there yet. It's up to each of us to bring it. So Maggie, thank you for sharing that. And we have a forum that we're doing on Humanity Rising, the 2 days before Thanksgiving, with Pilgrim scholars and with Native Americans and Pilgrim scholars and physicists. And it's sacred activism on the origin evolution, and realization of the American promise. So what we have to understand is the founding of this nation with the Mayflower separatists were the first spiritual sacred activists, and Andrew's written a novel to bring this into play. We have a first 50 years project that we have been doing for decades. And so this forum on Humanity Rising is the 21st and 22nd of November. And it's going to bring in the fact that the Mayflower Pilgrim separatists were key social, spiritual activists standing up to the King of England and saying, hey, guess what? We're intended to relate directly to the divine through our conscience. And they committed treason to do that. And then ultimately ended up here on Turtle Island and lived in peace and friendship with the Native Americans for 54 years in a spiritual alignment, because the Native piece has to do with that as well. The Native way of being is a direct connection to the Creator. You act according to your instructions from the Creator. So we're bringing a whole evolutionary look, and we're revising revisionist history, because revisionist history has totally trashed that time of year. I mean, that time in the history of America, that origin story. And so it's just really important that we get that straight and really open our hearts to that spiritual beginning of this nation. And Thanksgiving is actually just exactly what that was 3 days of intercultural celebration with 50 surviving Mayflower folks, half of whom died the first year, and 90 Native Americans, 90 plus Native Americans, 3 days of celebration, of gratitude. So we just need to bring that into the heart and knowing of our people to get us up and out of this low vibration of separation and all that this country is enmeshed in. So
There we are.
so there.
I so appreciate all the different things that you guys are doing. And we did a show with you all about the real history of Thanksgiving. We did that a couple of years ago. So I'll put that up and put that link into the chat box while Omoshar is playing the
Oh,
final.
sweet. Yeah, I'd love to see that too. But it's so important, and it's time, and Jim Garrison is recognizing that and giving us this 2-day forum. And we're bringing the sacred activism, how to become a sacred activist, with Will Keep and Dr. Jude Curran is going to be on it too, because they're physicists to show us what the importance of sacred activism is and the principles of sacred activism. So it's a 2-day forum. And Chief Phil Lane is going to be on it. He's bringing a prayer, and he's going to speak his big, broad vision and prophecy of the human family coming together.
And Kevin Deere.
And Kevin Deere from
Mohawk.
Mohawk. But yeah, our brother, Chief Phil Lane, is going to honor us with his presence on the 2nd day.
A lot of people watching are, of course, part of the Twin Ray community. And Chief Phil Lane was just had this big event over the weekend in Mexico. This is that Shekinah Ma sent me. You can see.
Wow, that's a great shot.
of the Twin Ray. And this is Phil just as he's about to light the fire for the evening. And so and
the 8th fire, they built it, they lit the 8th fire, which is the next phase, which is the next fire of humanity.
Exactly.
Evolution of humanity.
And a reminder that the event that you guys are doing is November 21st and 22nd, this 2-day forum. The link is in the chat box, but for those watching on Facebook, tune into Humanity Rising. They're colleagues of ours. We love them. On November 21st and 22nd, a forum on sacred activism on the origin, evolution, and realization of the American promise. Thank you for that so much. Connie, Andrew, I know that we'll be seeing you. You're on a lot of our shows. Thank you for all that you're doing to help create our awakening world.
Well, thank you, Scott. You're just a phenomenon in all that you're doing. And we bless
Wonderful.
you,
Thank you, Scott.
precious one.
I'm going to read a few comments from all of you. Maggie just wrote, beautiful, Connie and Andrew. Thank you so much. I don't know exactly in Mexico where that was, but there were indigenous elders from all over who came. Our friends Pato and Antoinette were there. The Twin Ray were there. And that took place just this last weekend. And Charlotte points out, yes, it's the fulfillment of the 8th fire prophecy that this weekend that just happened took place. I'm scanning. D.H. Reese writes, all of our awakening world must hear what you, Connie, and Andrew and Maggie have said tonight. Absolutely. George Noble appreciating everything that took place. Eleanor Joy talking about when she was living in Ireland back in the 90s, she heard that America would be leading the way into a new divine path. And Maureen pointing out Humanity Rising is from Ubiquity, I always have trouble saying it, Ubiquity University. That's a tongue twister. George points out that Pluto corresponds to, or perhaps appears to cause, transformation, which of course is death and rebirth. So lots of links, lots going on in the chat box, a lot of appreciation. Always appreciate Reverend Jeffrey letting us know all that's going on with the Humanities Rising.
International Space Federation.
And yeah, thank you there. Thank you. I need to eat some dinner. There it is, Humanities Rising, solutions for Andrew and Connie. And then Jeffrey always puts in what's going on. And I'm going to read one last thing. Tonight, it's November 1st. And this is right now, actually, the night that the veils are thinnest. It's a good time to tune into our ancestors, to tune into our beloveds from the other side. I'll be thinking about my favorite angel, Suchi, who I was blessed to be married to. And my dear friend, Emily Oram, who I have been blessed to partner with in life, sent something that she wrote. Today and tomorrow, I honor my loved ones that have passed and the gifts that they bestowed upon me, no matter how challenging. May they rejoice and see the amazing work I have done to heal our ancestral line. May you take some time to celebrate your ancestors during this sacred evening. There may be a special connection or a healing that can take place as you open your heart, feel, and listen. Thank you, beloved ancestors, for the freedom and privilege you have bestowed upon us. May we all continue to align to our highest good so that we evolve this human mess into a haven of collective unity and love. One in which you will be proud, dear ancestors, and one in which we can feel good to pass on to our future generations. May the old, outdated programs that feed fear and separation die, there's Pluto again, so that we may be reborn into love. And I'll just add, may we all continue to contribute in our own unique ways to creating this awakening. And with that, I'm going to go to our beautiful beloved brother, Omoshar, for a closing song.
How beautiful. I saw you had your hand up, Mark, so we'll you must have something to say. Let's play this song, and I have another backdrop inspired by Andrew again. Here it is.
shine a light inside, and I'll show you where your truth resides. Lift your eyes up to the sky, and I'll prove to you that nothing dies. Together we will rise again, and we'll make amends for what we've done. I know you hear me, so please do not fear me, 'cause I'm here to lift you, restore you to glory, and love you and hold you and be your victory. My child, I will welcome you home. Welcome you home. And let me take your hands in mine. As I look at you, your spirit shines. You see, it's true that we are one, and we came out from the central sun. I know you hear me, so please do not fear me, 'cause I'm here to lift you, restore you to glory, and love you and hold you and be your victory. My child, I will welcome you home. Welcome you home. So when you take a different view, and you dream awake, breathe out the new. The world will come alive again, as we dance and sing and make new friends. I know you hear me, so please do not fear me, 'cause I'm here to lift you, restore you to glory, and love you and hold you and be your victory. My child, I will welcome you home. Welcome you home. Welcome you home. So let me take your hands in mine. As I look at you, your spirit shines.
Gallery Review, Twinkle Time for wonderful, wonderful song. Absolutely, I think this is one of our favorite Bouchard tunes. And I agree with what Susan wrote. She says this is one of my favorites. Absolutely. The lyrics are so profound and so beautiful. And Mark Denisovsky said, Bouchard awesomeness. Absolutely. Marian Edwardson is enjoying your pop art colors behind you. Maggie is loving your music. I agree, Maggie. It is so divine. And George, again, commenting on how beautiful those lyrics are. They really are perfect. Thank you, thank you, thank you. A couple things. This was provided. Charlotte and Jennifer are with us. We love them, coming to us from Canada. And this is something that Charlotte popped in the chat box, but I want to read it for our friends watching on Facebook. It's from Crazy Horse. Upon suffering beyond suffering, the Red Nation shall rise again, and it shall be a blessing for a sick world. This sick world is filled with broken promises, selfishness, and separation. A world longing for light again. I see a time of 7 generations when all the colors of mankind will gather under the sacred tree of life, and the whole earth will become one circle again. That's beautiful. Thank you. Very inspiring. And I want to remind people this Saturday night, we have a wonderful show planned. Deborah Giusti will be back as a co-host, along with Anna Stara. Of course, Anna Stara always does a big event around 11:11. So we're going to be preparing for that. Theo Grace, who's amazing, will be playing music along with Omar Shar and several other guests, all of whom are new. Michaela has been on before. She's an amazing wordsmith. And we'll be meeting new guests, Catherine, Katrin, and Simon. So please join us on Saturday night and invite your friends. Let's continue to grow our Global Peace Tribe. I know I wasn't able to get to all of the wonderful comments that came in today, but I love how interactive it was. And one more time, thank you very much, Omar Shar, for blessing us with your presence and your music. Thank you, Maggie. Welcome to the Global Peace Tribe. What a joy you certainly are. And I look forward to having you and your collective on again. Connie and Andrew, thank you for all that you're doing for our awakening world. And then finally, you, our audience, those watching on Facebook and the different broadcast partners, all of you, thank you so much. Have a beautiful, beautiful evening. And I look forward to seeing you on Saturday night. Good night, everybody.